All right, good afternoon. Court's on the record, Commerce City Municipal Court for the afternoon session of January 20th of 2022. For the people that are on Zoom, please leave your devices on mute. I will ask you to unmute your device when I'm ready to call your case. For the people in the courtroom, when I call your name, I'm going to ask you to come forward to one of the three stations. While you're at that station, I need you to speak loudly and clearly. One of my responsibilities today is to make sure everything that you say gets properly recorded. After you're done, I'll direct you to see my clerks in the lobby. Their windows are located to the left once you've exited through the double doors at the rear of the courtroom. When you leave the courtroom, go out through those double doors, but you do not need to go out through the metal detector. Make the left before you get to the metal detector, and that'll get you to my clerk's windows. Good afternoon, Mr. Sims. You can go ahead and unmute.
Howdy, Judge. Long time no see. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. All right. This is regarding Ariel Malone. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is she joining us, or are you asking to waive? Oh, no. It looks like she's here. Okay. It's my understanding. Would you waive further reading and advisement on this?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Looks like there's a warrant. So first thing I guess that we'll do is we'll vacate the warrant. Is that correct?
I thought she had taken care of that. She turned herself into the court and then signed for this date today.
Yep, you're right. She's on a PR bond. Okay. I just looked at the first entry. Where the heck is the case? Give me a second. Oh, it's an affidavit case. All right. So all you're asking Mr. Sims is to enter your appearance and set this matter over for pretrial. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me have your registration number.
25113.
All right. And this is a King Supers case. All right. Want to set it out about a month? Is that correct?
That sounds good.
All right. We can do February 17th, February 23rd, February 24th, or we can go into March 2nd or 3rd, any one of those dates.
March 3rd, I don't have anything, Judge. Would that be okay?
Yeah, we do them at 1:15 in the afternoon.
Sounds perfect.
Okay. And Ms. Malone, I'll note that you're on there. You're muted right now, but so I'm going to require you to appear. Again, it's a virtual appearance if you want to on March 3rd, 2022 at 1:15 in the afternoon. Please keep in good contact with Mr. Sims so that he can be fully prepared to properly and adequately represent you at the next hearing and hopefully arrive at a resolution. Do you understand that your appearance is required on the next date?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, thank you. Bond will continue to that date and time. Have a good afternoon, Mr. Sims. You can both leave the meeting.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
And if I forgot to mention it, the case number is CM300179. Ariel Malone appeared on Zoom. Eric Sims, registration number 25113, entered his appearance on her behalf. A matter set for pretrial. March 3rd, 2022 at 1:15 in the afternoon. Okay, let's see. All right. Court's going to be on the record regarding Motaba Hassani. I note Mr. Strom has entered his appearance. Are you there, Mr. Strom?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. David Strom appearing on behalf of Mr. Hassani.
Okay, and is he appearing, or are you going to be requesting that I waive his appearance?
Mr. Hassani is not appearing. I request you waive his appearance. He's a Michigan resident and a truck driver, but if he needs to call in, we can get him to call in.
No, we don't need to. No, not with this disposition. All right, give me a moment.
And we waive any further advisement and reading.
Sure. Wouldn't be very beneficial since he's not here anyway.
All right.
Give me a second while I pull up your entry real quick. All right, the proposed disposition I have indicates that if, on behalf of Mr. Hassani, you enter a plea of guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, Mr. Gollin, Mr. Strom, does Mr. Hassani have a CDL?
He does.
All right, I'm just warning you. Again, commercial driver accident case, 0-point violation. Mr. Strom, you may not be aware, but the federal government has this thing that they call masking. CDL drivers involved in accidents usually cannot accept a 0-point or a non-reportable disposition. I give great discretion to my prosecutor to do whatever he thinks is right. I'm not going to challenge on that because I'm not the one that would get in trouble if somebody discloses this. It would be him. And with that having been said, is it my understanding that your client has authorized you to accept a plea to an obstructed window charge in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you're asking to waive his appearance pursuant to 16-7202. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Into the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield in exchange for the dismissal of the original careless driving charge from December 13th of 2021 at 12:30 in the afternoon in the area of 5201 Quebec Street here in Commerce City. How do you plead on behalf of Mr. Hassani?
Guilty, Your Honor.
The plea is accepted. Give me just a moment. Anything by way of mitigation?
Yes, a lot, Your Honor. No injury, absolutely clean DMV that I have in my possession. He was insured, licensed, of course. He puts on about 90,000 miles a year, and this is going to be his first violation.
Okay, I do note a clear accident report. I do note that there was no measurable damages as a result of this. His scheduled fine would be $120 with this mitigation and his clear driving record. I have to give him what we call an aggravated fine because of the collision itself or the impact itself. I'm reducing the fine to $70, 70, plus surcharges, plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, Mr. Strom, my clerks will reach out to you by email either later today or tomorrow. They will send you the total and they'll provide a stay of execution for you. Is there anything else I need to address on this?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, you have a good afternoon. You can go ahead and leave the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, for the people on Zoom, I'm going to do a hearing for somebody that's in open court. And because I have to raise my voice, I'm going to mute my device for a minute so that I don't blast your ears out. So for the people on Zoom, you won't hear me for a few minutes until I finish with this next defendant.
Judge, we won't be able to hear you either.
I will repeat the sentence when I finish it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. This was case number EM1890 regarding Abe Martinez. He pled guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation. The careless driving charge against him was dismissed. I imposed a fine of $80 plus surcharges plus court costs against him. Do you need anything else?
We're good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. All right, where was I? Stacy Knight, you're supposed to be here yesterday. Come forward to station number 2. All right, so first there's a request to set aside the default that entered when you failed to appear yesterday. I'll grant that request. This is EM 299 Stacy Knight. She's an add-on for today. Give me a moment. All right. The city attorney says that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the red light violation charge from December 13th of 2021 at about 4:20 in the afternoon in the area of 88th and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today? Yes, sir. Okay. Did you watch the advisement of rights video? And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video? Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will? Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? Then to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation on December 13th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? Guilty. I'll accept your guilty plea. Anything you want to tell me that I should consider before I impose the sentence against you? All right, you have an excellent driving record. This one, not a good place to, with all of the dump trucks and everything that come through that intersection, that's an intersection you want to be careful at. All right, I imposed the scheduled fine yesterday of $80 with your excellent driving record. I'm going to reduce your fine to $40 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they will tell you the total, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Any questions? All right, go out the double doors, make the left before the metal detector, and that'll get you to my clerks. Timothy Knoll, if you would come to station number 3, please. Good afternoon. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, that is a 0-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss both of the original charges against you from December 23rd of 2021 at about 9 o'clock at night in the area of 109th and Tower Road here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today? Did you watch the advisement of rights video? Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video? Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will? Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? Then to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, a 0-point violation on December 23rd of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? Guilty. I'll accept your guilty plea. All right, anything you want to tell me that I should consider before I impose the sentence against you? All right, so you went into oncoming traffic, hit this other person, and no one was hurt, right? I don't know why you put down that was, did either vehicle have to be towed from the scene? Yours did? Oh, of course, because of the tire. The other person's didn't? You know, they try to make these forms so easy. All they have to do is put check boxes in them, and they don't. And they literally, he doesn't even mark that yours was towed, but obviously it was if you lost your tire like that. Just check a box. That's all I ask them to do. All right. Technically, even though you were charged with such a low violation for points, your scheduled fine's $200. Give me a moment. All right, there's nothing in aggravation on your driving record. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I have to give you an aggravated fine because of the collision itself. I'm going to reduce your fine to $100 plus surcharges and court costs. When you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they're going to tell you what the total is. If you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. All right? Mm-hmm. Thank you, Krista. And if you'll bring those up to me, actually, I'm going to take a moment and just show you. All right. Dalton Sadbury, if you would unmute your device, please.
Can you hear me, Honor?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
All right. I have a document that is asking me to change the charge from one subsection of harassment to a different subsection of harassment, 12-4003-8. The city attorney says that if you plead no contest to the charge of harassment under subparagraph 8, which is the insulting, taunting, challenging of another in a manner likely to provoke a violent or disorderly response, then he will dismiss the, oh, no, it's just being amended to this lesser charge. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading no contest to committing the offense of harassment?
Yeah, so I want to plead no contest, but can I explain a little bit of what happened?
Not yet. I have to accept your no contest plea before we
Okay.
get into any explanations. All right. This incident is alleged to have occurred. Krista just did that. This incident is alleged to have occurred on November 19th of 2021 at 11:53 in the area of the 3400 block of I-270 eastbound heading towards Quebec Street here in Commerce City. Is this the incident that you're admitting to?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I accept your no contest plea to this charge, you are waiving, meaning renouncing, all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you're entitled to on this case?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to enter this plea against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this plea, other than promising that not to request a jail sentence and allowing a no contest plea rather than a guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the charge of harassment in Commerce City, Colorado, on November 19th of 2021. How do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept your no contest plea. I'll find it's knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made, with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences. Now give me just 1 minute, and then I'll give you an opportunity to tell me anything you want me to take into consideration.
Yes, sir. Hush.
All right. Let's go ahead and have an opportunity to review this. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I...
Yes. So essentially all it is that I don't find that this is a accurate charge, because what had happened was this lady had brake checked my friend on the highway, and then like we had accidentally hit her because like the traffic is thick through there. It's right there by the old
I know where it
refinery.
is. I-270
Okay.
I'm very familiar with.
Okay, so like she like just slammed on her brakes at 40 miles an hour right in front of us there. I had my dog in my lap, so she almost flew out my window. So in the heat of the moment, I have a bad problem of cussing because I have bipolar. So I had said some, just like you need to watch blah 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 blah. Any person that would be extremely upset at.
Stop right there for just a second.
Well, I didn't want to cuss.
That wouldn't have been a problem if you'd have done
Yeah.
all that while you were still seated in the car. The problem
Okay.
because you did all of that when you got out of the car before doing all of that cussing and everything.
Okay, now I understand. All right, yeah. So that's essentially what it is. But I never threatened the woman, and also the officer has said she had even admitted that after like 10 or 15 minutes, even before the police officers had got there, I had apologized because I had realized I was in the wrong for cussing because I was in the heat of the moment.
You were wrong for getting out of the car.
Okay, I didn't know I wasn't even supposed to get out the car.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
from this
you had no
state.
reason to get out of the car. You weren't driving. It was
Yeah,
your buddy Blake that was driving.
yeah. Well, we ain't buddies no more, but yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, well, again, I assume was it his car too?
Yeah, it was his car also.
Yeah. Then, yeah, I know your friends are back there kind of egging you on, but here's
No,
all
they're
of
not
your.
egging me on. My wife and my friend are out on the porch talking, and I'm trying to not be in there where the dogs are barking. But my apartment echoes because I don't have any furniture. I just moved here.
Yeah. Okay. First, it's not your car, so you didn't suffer any damage. Two, what almost happened to your dog didn't happen to your dog because it almost happened.
Yeah,
Three, all of your behavior you would never have been involved in this case whatsoever if you'd have just stayed in the car. Okay?
yeah, and that was me just in a manic moment because of what had happened. So I apologize for that.
All right.
Yeah, it's just I know it's not okay, but sometimes I just get in these modes and I don't see clearly until I come to something like, okay, I'm in the wrong,
All right. Well, in this case, you were in the wrong. The good
and I
news is
understand that.
the good news is you didn't damage your car or hurt her before you
Yeah,
reported yourself. Because if you had,
yeah,
you wouldn't be in front of me. You would be in front of a district court judge and facing a prison
yeah,
sentence. All right. So here's what
yeah.
I'm
No,
going to
I
do.
would never do something like that anyway.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to impose and
Okay,
suspend all of a 30-day jail sentence. The entire sentence is suspended.
okay,
I'm going to impose a fine against you of $100 plus surcharges plus court costs.
yes, sir.
I'm going to order that you do 24 hours of useful public service at any nonprofit agency of your choice.
Okay,
And I'm ordering you to commit no new law violations other than routine traffic violations for a period of 1 year.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
Also, I want the court to note that I'm also disabled and living on a disabled wages.
All right. My clerks will work out a payment plan for you. I'll let you pay $25 a month until this is all
Okay,
done. Okay.
that's completely manageable. It's just
Okay.
rent here is expensive.
That's fine. In terms of the community service, are you able to do community service?
I can only really stand up for short periods of time. I have very bad back issues,
Yeah,
so I
I'm
can
not
go
at,
like maybe to a food bank and like pack some boxes for a couple hours. I could do something like that.
yeah, that or volunteer in an animal shelter. They might let you like feed the
I'll
dogs.
do that. I'll do that too. I love
Yeah.
dogs. I have a rescue.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you. They'll tell you what the total amount of the fines and court costs are, and they'll authorize that it be paid at $25 a month. They're also
Okay.
going to send you the form that we use for community service. Um, they'll give you about 6 weeks within which to complete the 24 hours of community service. And again, you can do it anywhere. It doesn't have to be done
Okay.
in Commerce City. The only requirement that I make is that the place that you pick to do it must be a legitimate nonprofit agency, okay?
Okay.
So make sure the place you go to is a nonprofit agency. Then the rest of this is easy. I'm ordering you to have no contact with Alicia Polito, that's the driver of the other vehicle, and commit
Okay.
no new law violations for 1 year, okay?
That's completely understandable. I tend to stay to myself.
All right. Do you have any questions about what's expected of you?
No, sir. I appreciate it.
Then just keep an eye out for that email. It'll come from my clerks either later today or tomorrow, providing all of that information. You can
All
go
right.
ahead and
Thank
leave
you.
the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
You too. God bless.
Jorge Romero, if you would unmute your device. Jorge Romero, this is EM 9181.
Yes.
Okay. Do me a favor, find a place to get comfortable and sit down. I don't want you walking around.
Yeah, I got it.
over others. All right, good. Okay, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original careless driving charge against you from December 19th of 2021 at about 4 o'clock in the morning in the area of 78th and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, I plead guilty.
Okay, to the reduced charge, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on December 19th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Honestly, no. It was just it wasn't really my fault. Just kind of a mechanical error. But what else can I do?
Well, you didn't stay on your side of the road. You
Oh
know.
yeah.
How long have you been driving?
2 years.
This looks like it's your first ticket. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, your scheduled fine is $200 because of the nature of the collision. I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and reduce your fine to $120 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email either later today or tomorrow. They will tell you what the total is, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have
Okay.
any questions?
No, sounds good.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, Lainatioka Rogers, if you would unmute your device.
Hello.
All right, this is EM 4676. Come on. There we go. All right. It indicates that that you're pleading guilty to the charge of driving a vehicle without insurance or permitting the operation of a vehicle without insurance on on December 14th of 2021 at about 7 o'clock in the morning in the area at Rosemary and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. This is a 4-point violation. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this charge?
Yes,
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
I did.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of on that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the charge of permitting or permitting the unauthorized driving of a vehicle without insurance on December 14th of 2021, a 4-point violation. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Give me just a minute. I need to read this.
Okay.
Okay, because it. Okay, so Diana was driving and she's the victim of the accident, is what it looks like. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by victim?
She didn't cause the accident.
Oh, correct, correct. We did not cause the accident, but yes,
Okay.
he was driving.
All right. Anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence?
Well, yes, sir. On December 2nd, I had eye surgery and my vision was impaired. On the morning of the accident, and I hadn't driven since the surgery. On the morning of the accident, we were actually on our way to the eye doctor for my post-op appointment and to be hopefully cleared to drive. So I hadn't driven up until that point, and we would have taken Diana's car, but her car wouldn't start, so we took my car, and unfortunately, the accident occurred on that day at that time. I was able to reschedule my eye appointment for that Friday, and I have been cleared to drive, but I haven't been able to drive at all yet because I no longer have a vehicle because my
Right.
vehicle totaled.
Yeah, it looks like it suffered some significant damage.
It did, yes.
Okay. All right. No, it's unfortunate. All right. I'm going to impose the minimum fine for this offense, which is $100 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you the total. If you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. I also have to give you the following advisement. You need to understand under Colorado state law that if you pick up another charge related to having a motor vehicle without insurance on it, the mandatory minimum fine goes from $100 to $500. If you pick up two more within the next 5 years, the mandatory minimum fine becomes $1,000. So it's really important that not only do you not drive a vehicle without insurance, if you own the vehicle and somebody else is driving it at your request, you need to make sure it's properly insured before it gets put on a public roadway, okay?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. My clerks will reach out to you by email later today or tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Roberto Valdez, if you would unmute your device. This is EM 4293.
You hear me, Your Honor?
Yes, I can. All right, Mr. Valdez, I have a document that says that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, that's a 3-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from December 18th of 2021, 9:45 in the morning in the area of 78th and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will? Mr. Valdez, you froze.
No, sir.
Okay. Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you
No, sir.
currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation on December 18th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Anything you want to tell me that I should consider before I impose the sentence against you?
No, so the only thing I have is the officer said that I was going 61 miles per hour. He was driving east, I was driving west. A couple of cars were with me and stuff. And I told the district attorney I had my cruise control on. I was going 45 miles per hour because that's what it takes. I usually come from the back road, where you come out from where the drive-in theater is at. So I get that back road. I have a horse up there and stuff, so I always get that back road, and I always put my cruise control. What I did not know is that where he clocked me at was actually 35, because that's what he told me. He says, you were going on a 35. I know that the other one, the speed limit is 45, and that's what I didn't realize, that that one did go down to 35. Never paid attention to it. I just keep my cruise control because my property where I work at is up in the Holly Park Apartments. So that's where I was headed. And I always take that road. I just never knew that the speed limit was 35 passing Rosemary. Right after you pass Rosemary,
Right after you
it
get
turns to
past
35.
Rosemary, the sign's right. Yeah, the sign's right there. It's big as life.
Yeah. And my negligence is that I never paid attention to it. So I've been driving 45 through there for a while.
Okay, well, just keep in mind, north of there, it's 45. South of there, it's 35.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me do the math. Your schedule fine's $160. There's nothing particularly aggravated about this ticket, so I'm going to reduce it from $160 down to $80 plus surcharges and court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you. They'll tell you the total. If you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a
You can
good
go
day.
ahead and leave the meeting.
Yes, sir.
Roger Ratzlaff? You're going to have to tell me how you say it.
Yes, sir. It's pronounced Ratzliff.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Ratzlaff. I have a document
Good
that
afternoon, Judge.
indicates that you're pleading guilty to the charge of violating the city ordinance regarding an animal attack on December 12th of 2021 at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the area of 10595 Akron Street here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this charge?
Yes, Judge. I did want to ask if there was any difference here between pleading guilty and no contest. Probably should ask the prosecutor that, but
Yeah, you should have asked the prosecutor that, but in this case, I can't accept a no contest plea for that particular charge. Okay?
okay. Then, yeah, what you stated is how I wish to plead.
Yeah, the reason being, it's unless you directly had your dog attack another dog or a person, unless you directly did that, then it's not a conscious decision on your case. So that's a difference between guilty and no contest. In this case, I can't do a no contest because I already assume you didn't directly sick your dog on somebody. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right. Let's see. All right. So do you want the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, or to the original charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of on that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, Judge.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the charge of violating the city ordinance regarding an animal attack on December 12th of 2021 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Just that, this is a very uncharacteristic thing. My dog is, for a German Shepherd, he's almost 11 years old. He's got a lot of aches and pains, and it was entirely uncharacteristic. So with Leo, the boy that he bit, when he comes over, my dog's in my room. That bite kind of scared the crap out of me a little bit. So I've been very cautious with, just the people that my dog Barrett is around and how people are interacting with him. Because I think he's old, kind of at the end of his life, and I can tell he's in pain. So.
Okay, and Leo's a 3-year-old, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And your dog's name is Bear?
His name's Barrett, but I did correct that with the prosecutor. Yeah, respelled it for him.
And he's 11 years old. Approximately what does he weigh?
114 pounds.
Okay, that's pretty close.
Yeah, he's a big one.
Yep. Okay, give me just a moment. Okay, and does Roxy live in the same house as well?
Yes.
Okay. But Leo doesn't live there?
No, Leah, his dad is my roommate. He's there on I would say most weekends, but not all weekends.
Okay, so it's like just parenting time?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so nobody actually saw it except obviously Leo, is what it sounds like. Is that a fair statement?
No, his dad did. My girlfriend was in there as well, but she just kind of heard it. The countertop was blocking her view. So basically, of what I know happened is from his dad.
Okay. All right, so this is the first animal control incident that I show for you in Commerce City. Although the city attorney says that you had some incident before. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, it was in Kansas City. And the reason I say it's kind of uncharacteristic, like this bite, is because the last bite that happened in Kansas City, there was a girl kind of had him cornered, not in like an aggressive way, but she was just like giving my dog a big hug. And again, this is not something I saw firsthand. This is actually coming from her parents, who got bit, but it was another child, and Barrett tried to like get up and walk away, and she just kind of like kept holding on to him and kind of fell on top of him. And it was a reaction. After that, when Leo moved in, it was a couple weeks until I was comfortable with Barrett, my dog, and Leo being there without me there. And the reason I was because Leo was just he acts really good around dogs. Doesn't like hang on him. If my dog has his ball, he's not trying to take it away from him. And I didn't see any like, I guess, characteristics in Leo that would aggravate my dog, like, him hanging on him or deciding to, just treat him like a golden doodle dog or something. Just the nature of
All right.
German Shepherds, I feel like, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll note that the injuries seem minor. So I'm going to impose a fine only, $80. I'm going to leave the issue of restitution open for 30 days. There's going to be court costs and surcharges added to this. This bite, again, it's fairly minor. It's not very aggravated, but you need to understand if Barrett bites anybody else, another dog or another person, then it becomes much more serious the next time, okay?
Okay.
Right. So my clerks are going to reach out to you by email. They'll tell you what the total is. They'll work out payment arrangements for you. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Amy Pomonte, if you would unmute your device.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. And is that how you say your name, Pomonte?
Yep.
Good. Shoot, did I just do it twice? Yep, I sure did. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of speeding 40 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone, that's a 1-point violation. The city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from December 15th of 2021 at 7:30 in the morning in the area of the 5800 block of East 56th Avenue here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you watch the advisement of rights video?
I did.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video?
I do.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of speeding 40 in a 35 mile per hour zone, a 1-point violation on December 15th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, Your Honor.
All right. How long have you been driving in Colorado?
In Colorado, my daughter is almost 5, so it took 5.5 years.
Okay, this looks like it's your only ticket in that time. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Your scheduled fine in this case is $80. I'm going to reduce your fine to $30 plus surcharges and court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you by email. They will tell you what the total is. If you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good afternoon.
Just keep an eye out for that email, and you too. Have a good afternoon. You can leave the meeting.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, this is Elena Sears, EM6150. If you would unmute your device.
Hello.
Hello. Let me see what's going on here. City attorney says that, let's see. Oh, okay. Back on November 4th, we scheduled this for a pretrial conference. You were ordered to do 16 hours of community service, a petty theft class, stay out of the Walmart, and commit no new law violations. City attorney says you need more time to get this all completed. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and grant the request to reset this for another pretrial conference, but you need to make sure you get everything accomplished before the next court date, because I'm unlikely to extend it again. Community service is free. It doesn't cost a penny. You just need to find a place to do it, make sure you're a legitimate nonprofit, do the work, get the proof turned in. You'll need to sign
I
up.
have everything set up. I just need to get my vaccine and I need to get an approval from my neurologist before I can do that. I have an appointment set up next month.
Okay, well, again, we're going to reset this for another pretrial conference. Let's get on getting everything done by the next date. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to send you another referral to the class. They'll send you the community service form. They'll send you another reminder notice of the new court date and time. Okay?
Okay.
All right, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. All right, Tony Dodds, if you would unmute your device.
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon. I have a document
Good
that
afternoon.
alleges that on November 29th of 2021, at about 6:49 in the afternoon, from the area of 5990 Dahlia Street, that's the Walmart store located here in Commerce City, it's alleged that you committed the offense of theft and also the offense of trespass. Do you understand what it is you're accused of doing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the city attorney indicates that he explained the elements of each of those charges. In other words, he explained if this case went to trial, what he would have to prove for you to be found guilty of those two charges. Did he go over those elements with you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, here are the elements of trespass. That on or about November 29th of 2021 at 6:49 in the evening from the area 5990 Dahlia Street, the Walmart store located here in Commerce City, that you unlawfully entered or remained in or about the property of another or any portion of such property in violation of any notice, warning, or protest given orally or in writing by the owner or the properly authorized person to possess that property. That means that before November 29th, you were told that you can't go on to Walmart, and on that day, it's alleged that you entered Walmart. That's what the prosecutor would have to prove for the trespass charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then with regard to the theft, same date, same place, same time, that you knowingly obtained or exercised control over anything of another with a value of less than $2,000 without authorization or by threat or deception, and intended to deprive the other person, in this case the Walmart company, permanently of the use or benefit of the thing of value. This is basically a theft, or used to be called a shoplifting charge. Do you understand what you're accused of in that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently a veteran of the United States Armed Forces or currently serving in the Armed Forces?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and the city attorney indicated to me that you wish to have the court appoint an attorney to represent you in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, I have a bunch of questions I have to ask you in regard to that. The address that we have for you is on Genoa Street in Aurora. Is that still a correct address for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The phone number I have for you, the last four digits are 1565. Is that still a current contact phone number for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm having a hard time reading the officer's writing. I have, it looks like 4621565.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. Is it 462 or 402?
462-1565.
All right. Are you single, married, separated, or divorced?
Common law marriage, not legally married.
Okay, under Colorado law, common law is legally married. If you've both publicly acknowledged that you're husband and wife, that's really all it takes. Do you have any children less than 18 years of age in your household?
4.
Okay. And they're all living in your household?
Yes, sir.
Are they yours and your husband's, or?
Yes, they're both of ours, all 4 of them.
All right. And can you just give me the age of the oldest and the age of the youngest?
The oldest is 13 and the youngest is 5.
Okay. And what's your husband's name?
Juan.
And last name?
Loera.
Flores?
Loera.
Oh, Lera. Okay. Are you employed at all?
No, sir.
How long have you been unemployed?
Basically, this past year, since Corona has been getting back up there, I've been trying to find something, but it's just not working in my favor.
Okay. What's the nature of the last job that you had?
A groomer.
Okay.
A-
Are you currently receiving any type of unemployment compensation benefits?
No, sir.
Are you receiving any workman's compensation benefits for any injuries you may have sustained through prior employment?
No, sir.
Are you receiving any type of Social Security income or disability income for you or any of the children?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you receiving any type of other public assistance, food stamps, anything like that?
Yes, sir. The kids get food stamps.
Okay. And they're covered by Medicaid, I assume?
Yes, sir.
All right. And does your husband work?
No, sir.
How long has he been unemployed?
About this past year as well.
Okay. Total number of people in your household, and by that I mean just the adult. Is it just the two of you in your household?
The adult, yes, just me and my husband.
Okay. Now the address on Genoa, that looks like a house address. Is it a house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any ownership interest in that house?
My dad bought it for me, so I'm kind of buying it back from him.
Okay. Do you know if it has any equity in it that would go to you, or would it go to your dad at this point?
It would go to my dad.
Okay. So the title is still in his name.
Yes, everything's still in his name.
Okay. So are you making the mortgage payments equivalent as rent?
I was until this whole situation kind of happened. I've been looking for like more of assistance to try to help get our bills covered.
Okay. So basically your father's letting you live there and you guys just pay him what you can. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
All right. Do you own any automobiles, any cars between you and your husband?
No, sir.
Do you have any ownership interest in any financial transaction devices, savings bonds, treasury bonds, or retirement plans?
No, sir.
All right. I'm going to find that you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email today or tomorrow. They're going to tell you what they're going to tell you what the new court date is, and they'll provide the information that I have for you to the attorney that I appoint to represent you in this case. They should be in communication with you prior to the next court date, and hopefully they'll be able to help you arrive at a resolution of this case. So do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right. So again, they'll email you with the pretrial conference date, and then the attorney that I've appointed to represent you will reach out to you. Have a good afternoon. You can go ahead and leave the meeting.
Thank you very much, sir.
Uh-huh. Shoot, now I don't remember if anybody's cleaned the station since we did the last three. They did? Okay, good. Benjamin, Mom, if you would come to station number 1, please. This is case number EM12073. Good afternoon. I need your parent to come forward with you. Good afternoon. All right, I have a document that says that if Benjamin pleads guilty to the added reduced charge of speeding 50 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone, that's a 1-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original 4-point speeding charge against you from December 23rd of 2021 at about 3:40 in the afternoon in the area of the 88th and Tower Road here in Commerce City. Benjamin, is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay, good. And are you his father? Do you understand the original charge that was filed against your son, the original speeding charge? Do you understand the reduced charge that the city attorney is offering your son in an effort to resolve this case? Do you agree that your son is acting in his best interests by accepting this proposal and pleading guilty to this reduced charge? Thank you. Benjamin, did you watch the advisement of rights video? Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video? Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will? Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? Then to the added reduced charge of speeding 50 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone, a 1-point violation on December 23rd of 2021 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you? Is there anything you want to tell me about your son that I should take into consideration? Okay, that's good. All right. Looks like you've only been driving for a short time. Is that correct? And this is your first ticket? All right, your scheduled fine's $80. I'm going to go ahead and reduce your fine to $30 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you go to the windows in the lobby to see my clerks, they're going to tell you the total, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. And Benjamin, I want you to keep in mind one thing. When you're behind the wheel of a car, as a new driver, you pose a higher risk of getting into or causing an accident than a more experienced driver. Until you've engaged in daily driving for 3 years, you're at a much higher risk of either getting into or causing an accident than a more experienced driver. What I want you to consider is from now on, when you get behind the wheel of a car, you only have one goal, and that goal is to get to where you're going safely, not more quickly. Never be in a hurry when you're behind the wheel of a car. If you're running late when you get into the car, accept the fact that you're going to arrive at your destination late. I'd rather have you arrive there all in one piece than rush and expose yourself to risk of getting into an accident or getting another ticket, okay? Just safety first for those first 3 years of driving, all right? Okay, when you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they'll tell you what the total is and work out payment arrangements. Do you have any questions? Okay, any questions? Okay, go ahead and go to the window, see my clerk. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, they can hear me. Why don't I just ask you? Emmanuel Macario, is your parent home from work yet?
Not yet. They should be home by 3.
Okay, go ahead and put yourself back on mute, and then just let us know. Activate your camera and wave at us when your parents are there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Manuel, quick question. Your parent doesn't need an interpreter, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Well, that changes things. One 893. Okay, we still have to wait for them to appear. Are they Spanish speaking? Emmanuel, go ahead and unmute.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Okay, I'm just asking, are they Spanish speaking?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I still have to wait for them to show up, but all we're going to be doing is rescheduling this for a new date once they get there, okay?
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, so go ahead and just put yourself back on mute and let us know when they get there.
Judge, are you able to just check your email real quick? Thank you.
Do you see that? Chris, were you able to see it on the ticket?
Thanks. I thought it auto-populated on the sheet that we sent out, but I guess not.
Okay, well, I just sent it back to you on the email.
Got it. Appreciate it.
Did you have paper files? Yes.
Judge, did you want me to email you an updated docket or you want me to print it?
You can send it to me just as an email.
Okay, thanks.
I've gotten better at doing that. All right, the court's on the record regarding Emmanuel Macario Duque. Buenas tardes, señor. Emmanuel, you need to unmute your device. You're on mute. You're still on mute. You need to unmute your speaker. There you go.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, that's okay. Buenas tardes, señor.
Buenas tardes.
Oh, señora, discúlpame. Me avisa tu hijo que no habla suficiente inglés para poder resolver este caso sin la ayuda de una intérprete, ¿es verdad?
Sí.
No tenemos un intérprete aquí hoy. La próxima cita que vamos a tener un intérprete va a ser el miércoles de la semana que viene. ¿Puedes regresar sobre video en ese día?
¿El miércoles a qué hora?
¿Qué te conviene mejor, en la mañana o en la tarde?
¿En la tarde?
Ok, va a ser a las 1:15 de la tarde. ¿Puedes hacer esa cita?
¿Y en la mañana qué hora sería?
A las 8:30.
Entonces estaría mejor a las 8:30.
Ok, cuando salen de esta cita, mi ayudante te va a mandar una noticia sobre la cita nueva. Va a ser el día 26 de enero a las 8:30 de la mañana. Y te puedes atender sobre video como ahora mismo, ¿ok?
Ok, sí, está bien.
Okay, está bien. Pues, Emmanuel, did you understand everything I just told your mom?
Yeah, I understood.
Okay, so we'll have an interpreter here on the next date. We'll see you next Wednesday at 8:30, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You can go ahead and leave the meeting.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, so that was EM 1893. The defendant's mother doesn't speak sufficient English to be able to assist him in resolving this case without the assistance of an interpreter. I went ahead and reset this matter to Wednesday, January 26th at 8:30. Carmen or Chris, there's a case number EM9651, Craig B. Schuyler. I'm dismissing that case. He evidently has the duplicate ticket in case number EM9652. Adam filled it out on a Rule 211. I'm just going to put it with my stack from today's stuff. Did one or both of you get that?
It's all mine, Chris, Judge, but I have not seen that yet, but I wrote it down, so
right.
we'll process it right now. Thank you.
All right, yeah, EM9651, and that one's being dismissed. Alma and Chris, in case number CM002475999, the proof of service is insufficient, so I'm not going to issue a warrant. I'm just going to put it on the stack and have the entire case restarted. Okay?
Gotcha.
Just have a seat up there. I'll be with you in just a minute. I want to show you this. I'll take that from you. Here, go ahead and stick that one here. Okay, so this is who's charged, right? But it's an illegal discharge from a company. The name of the company is Burnco. They sent the proof of service to the just to the corporate services company, not to Burnco, care of Capital Corporate Services. It was received, but the citation is made out to Alexander Ricky. Right, so he's just going to toss it in the garbage because Mr. Alexander Ricky was no longer employed with Burnco, and they knew this as of November of 2021. So the service is inadequate. I'm going to make a note that they can then copy, and then I'll explain to give it back to Adam. Okay. This one is in the bottom of this stack.
That's, I think, was a pre-trial today, was it?
Oh, it should have been on over there then.
Was it?
Yep, it looks like I filled it out.
That's last
No,
night.
that's, oh, okay, yeah, this is your copy then. Yeah. And they're here, right? Okay. So we're on station 2, and then the Flores will go to 3. Alejandro Macías, ¿te puedes arribar a estación número 2, por favor? With your dad. This is EM 9650. Buenas tardes, señor. Me avisa que no habla suficiente inglés para poder ayudar a tu hijo a resolver este caso sin la ayuda de una intérprete. ¿Es verdad? Ok, no tenemos un intérprete aquí hoy. La próxima cita que vamos a tener un intérprete es el miércoles de la semana que viene. ¿Puedes regresar en ese día? ¿Qué te conviene mejor, en la mañana o en la tarde? ¿A las 8:30 o a las 10? Ok, vamos a poner este caso para otra cita. Va a ser el miércoles, el día 26 de este mes, a las 8:30 de la mañana. Si vas a la ventanilla que está en el paseo, mis ayudantes te van a dar una noticia sobre esta cita nueva. Okay, so just go out the double doors, make the left before the metal detector. That'll get you to my clerk's window, and they'll give you a notice of the new court date and time. I'm assuming you understood everything I told your father? Okay, yep, go ahead and take care of that. We'll get you the next time.
January
Chris,
26th
you
at
got all of
8:30?
that, right? I'm sorry, what?
January 26th at 8:30?
Yes, I assumed you got all of that.
Yep. Cool. Thanks.
But that's okay because I have to repeat everything anyway. All right, for the record, in EM 9650, I was advised the defendant's father doesn't speak sufficient English to assist his son in resolving this case without the assistance of an interpreter. I asked him if that was correct. He indicated it was. I advised him we did not have an interpreter available today, that the next day we had an interpreter available was next Wednesday, the 26th. I asked if he could return on that date. He indicated he could. I asked him what was more convenient for him, morning or afternoon. He indicated morning. I asked him 8:30 or 10, indicated 8:30. I advised him we would reset this matter for a new date on Wednesday, January 26th at 8:30 in the morning. Invited him to go to the windows in the lobby to see my clerk to get a reminder notice of the new court date and time. I believe that's all I said in Spanish. Okay. Omar Flores, if you would come to station number 3, please, along with your parent. This is EM10144. Good afternoon. All right, I have a document that indicates that if Omar pleads guilty to the charge of disturbing the lawful assembly of an educational institution on December 17th of 2021, shortly before 11 o'clock in the morning, in the area of 9336 Quintero Street, here in Commerce City, the city attorney will dismiss the disorderly conduct charge, and in addition is agreeing to a deferred judgment and sentence for Omar on the remaining charge. What that means is that even though you would be pleading guilty to this charge today, I would not be imposing a conviction or a sentence against you. I will order you to complete certain conditions, and if you complete those conditions and not pick up any new cases for a period of 1 year, at the end of 1 year, without the need for you to appear, your guilty plea will be withdrawn and the case will be dismissed. Omar, do you understand what's being offered to you? I need to be able to hear your answer. Okay, and is this how you wish to resolve your case? Just speak into that little microphone that's here in front, not that one, that one. Is this what you want to do to resolve your case? Okay, are you his father? Do you understand the original charges that were filed against your son? Do you understand what the city attorney is offering your son in an effort to resolve this case? Do you agree that your son is acting in his best interests by accepting this proposed resolution to his case? Omar, did you and your father watch the advisement of rights video? Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you would be entitled to as you were advised in that video? Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will? Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? Then to the charge of disturbing a lawful assembly of an educational institution. In this case, it's Stewart Middle School. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I will accept your guilty plea. I'll find it's knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences. So I'm going to approve the dismissal of the disorderly conduct charge. I'm going to go ahead and accept the guilty plea for the disturbing the lawful assembly charge. I'm not going to enter it as a conviction. I'm simply going to approve the deferred judgment and sentence. It's for a period of 1 year. The conditions are that you're to complete 24 hours of community service. When you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they're going to give you the form that we use for community service. You need to understand that you don't have to do it here in Commerce City. You can do it anywhere. The only requirement that I make is that the place you pick to do it must be a legitimate nonprofit agency. They might let you do it at the school. I don't know. Churches, food banks, Meals on Wheels, Boys and Girls Club, pretty much there's a whole bunch of places that you could do it at. Just make sure the place you pick is a legitimate nonprofit agency. Do the work, have them fill out the form, turn that into my court clerks by the deadline they give you. They'll give you about 6 or 7 weeks to get it done in. My clerks are also going to give you the referral to the Making Better Choices class. It's important that you contact those people right away, get them signed up for a class, because again, my clerks are going to give you a deadline, and it's your responsibility to submit proof of completion of the class on or before the deadline my clerks give you. There's $34 in court costs. That's it, just $34. My clerks will work out payment arrangements for that. And then the only other thing you have to do is not commit any new law violations. Stay out of trouble. At the end of 1 year, I'll open your file, or the judge will open your file, take a look, make sure everything's done. If it's all done, then your guilty plea will be withdrawn, the case will be dismissed, and my clerks will notify you that the case has been dismissed. And because of your age, if you do everything that I'm ordering you to do, we'll expunge it from your record, okay? Do you have any questions, Omar, about what's expected of you? Do you have any questions about what's expected of Omar? Uh-huh. If he did something else wrong, then he would be brought back and be resentenced on the charge he pled guilty to, and I would enter it as a permanent conviction on his record. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Omar, you have to completely stay out of trouble for 1 whole year. What grade are you in? Do you like 8th? Do you like it enough to have to do it again? Then don't get into any more trouble. Because if you get expelled, you have to do 8th grade all over again. Your friends are moving on to 9th, you're still in 8th. You see how that could be a problem? So you need to make sure you don't get in any more trouble, because then you're going to be brought back to appear in front of the judge, and this won't go away. It won't get expunged. It'll be a permanent part of your record. Yeah, how old are you? 14. Do you really want to be making decisions that are going to impact your permanent record for the rest of your life at age 14? You don't want to do that, so you want to stay out of trouble so that this can go away, okay? We don't give everybody this chance. The fact that he's giving you this chance is a real benefit to you. Don't waste it. Take advantage of this opportunity that in 1 year from today, we're going to wipe your chalkboard completely clean if you do what I order you to do. Do you understand that? Okay. All right. So my prosecutor is going to give you your copy of the deferred judgment and sentence. And then go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerk, and they'll give you all of the information that you need to accomplish the order I just entered. Okay? All right. Uh-huh. What about it? No. No, I'm not sentencing anybody today. All right, on the record regarding Isabella Williams, if you would unmute your device.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Hi. Give me a moment. It takes me a minute to pull up electronic files. This is EM12055. All right, I have a document that indicates that if Isabella pleads guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, that is a 0-point violation, and attends the Alive at 25 class, the city attorney will dismiss the original unsafe lane change charge from December 9th of 2021, just before noon, in the area of 107th and Highway 85 here in Commerce City. Isabella, is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes.
Okay, and are you Michelle Williams?
Yes, I am.
And you're her mother?
Yes.
Do you understand the original charge that was filed against your daughter?
I do, sir.
Do you understand the reduced charge that the city attorney is offering your daughter in an effort to resolve this case?
I do.
Do you agree that your daughter is acting in her best interest by accepting this proposed resolution to her case and pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Isabella, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
No, she did not.
Okay, you need to watch the video. So
Okay.
you need to back up to the link that you signed up for. You're going to see a video that looks a lot like me. Push the middle of it. That'll run that video. It takes about 8 minutes. So don't come back too soon. Watch the whole thing. When you're finished watching it, come back up like you are now, wave at me, and that'll tell me that you're ready to be recalled. Okay? All right. So go ahead and mute your device and go watch that video.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and watch the video.
Excuse me, sir. We don't know how to get to that video. I know that when I clicked on the link, it asked me or said something about the video, but I never saw a link to get to it. So I'm not seeing it.
Probably because you answered yes rather than no. And so it didn't hook you up with the link, but you should be able to get to it. Just go ahead and exit right now and then come back into the link at www.courts and look for the link for, I mean, it's literally not like an address. It's actually a box with me on it.
Judge, I'll go ahead and provide it to them directly.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
My clerk will get it to you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no,
No
it's
worries.
okay. I'm just doing paperwork. Have we seen Alejandro Macias? I think that's the only other one.
Commerce City Court.
Robert Romero, would you unmute your device, please?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Doing okay. Let's see what we've got here. I have a document that indicates that you plead guilty to one count of having an animal at large on December 10th of 2021, shortly before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, in the area of 6775 Oneida Street. The city attorney will dismiss the second charge of having an animal at large at the same date and time. Is this how you wish to resolve this case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promises to you to get you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the charge of having an animal at large, on December 10th of 2021, here in Commerce City, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Anything you want to tell me that I should take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Oh, I just put up an expensive fence to keep the dogs. And I think I got in a little better handle of them.
All right, well, you just had this last one back, fall of last year from September.
Right, right. They're getting a lot.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. They're getting a lot better. They're maturing. They're just puppies and climbing everything, and they were a handful, but they've mellowed out.
Okay, well, again, each time this happens, it gets more and more expensive. I gave
Right.
you the minimum fine the last time. I'm going to impose a fine of $100 this time, plus surcharges, plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email, either later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you what the total is, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Okay, go ahead and unmute your device, Isabella. Okay, and have you watched the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Okay, give me a second while I put your case back up. Okay, and was that video riveting and awe-inspiring?
You did a great job.
Thank you. Usually if they say yes, then I know they didn't actually watch it. All right. The document I have says that if Isabella pleads guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, a 0-point violation, and attends the Alive at 25 class, the city attorney will dismiss the original unsafe lane change charge from December 9th of 2021, shortly before noon, in the area of 107th and Highway 85. Isabella, is this how you wish to resolve your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and again, Ms. Williams, do you understand the original charge filed against Isabella?
I do.
And do you understand the reduced charge that the city attorney is offering her in an effort to resolve this case?
Yes, I do.
And is Isabella acting in her best interest by accepting this resolution and pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Isabella, you have now watched the advisement of rights video, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were just advised of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, a 0-point violation, on December 9th of 2021, Here in Commerce City, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Give me a second to read this. All right. Is there anything that you, Isabella, want to tell me that I should take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Only that I thought that he was in the left-hand turn lane when I got over.
Instead of actually being in the left lane?
Yes, sir.
Did you spot him with your side mirror, or did you actually turn and look?
I did both, and I thought, he was in the turn lane.
Okay. And there was actual impact between your vehicle and his vehicle, wasn't there? Just minor?
Not between the two vehicles, just between him and the median, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't see any damage at all to your vehicle.
No.
So did you just pull up and stop, or what did you do?
I thought that it was him and the guy like behind me. So I didn't think that it was my fault, so I didn't stop.
From what she told me, she didn't even realize anything had happened. It was just, she was oblivious to it being her involvement at all. And so she continued just driving back to school.
Yeah, obviously the other vehicle and him both saw your car. And so you evidently were on your way to school and they found the car in the school parking lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything you wanted to tell me about your daughter that I should take into consideration?
Well, I'm biased, I guess, but she's honestly, I've had kids that have given me a hard time in the past, and this one, she's golden. She's a good girl. She's a hard worker. She's a good person. And she, at being a senior in high school, she doesn't even go out and do anything against what she should be doing. She's never given me a hard time. I've never gotten any negative comments from teachers, school, nothing from her. She's just a good human. She's just a good person. She's doing what she should be.
What I'm getting out of this is that you have older brothers and sisters, correct?
Yes.
And I'm getting that you've learned how to hide things from mom that she'll never find out about. I can say I was the youngest as well, and obviously here I am, only because you learn a lot watching what the mistakes made by older brothers and sisters. Okay, this looks like it's your first ticket, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, it doesn't look like anyone was injured from the accident.
No.
Okay, Mr. Gollin has recommended that I send you to the 11-25 class. I think that that's a good idea. So I'm going to impose the scheduled fine in this case, and it's $120. I'm going to impose the $120, but I'm going to suspend 100 of it because I want this to be more of an educational experience. I'm going to order that you do the 11-25 class, and there are going to be costs assessed against the remaining $20 plus surcharges and court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email. They're going to give you a referral to the people that put on the class. You need to contact those people right away. We've been getting reports that those classes are booked up way in advance, and you want to make sure you can get signed up for one and get it done before the deadline my clerks give you. If you run into a problem, you can always contact us and ask for an extension, but make sure you try initially to get it done by the deadline my clerks give you. When you take the class and finish it, they'll give you a certificate of completion. Make sure that original gets filed with my court by the deadline. Give your mom a copy of it. You should send it to your insurance agent. You never know, they might give you a discount for her doing a driving class, okay? Also, hold on to another copy just in case you need it down the road for whatever reason. So original for the court, copy for insurance, copy for DMV or anybody else down the road. My clerks will tell you the total of the fines and court costs, and they'll make payment arrangements. Now, Isabella, in addition to what they teach you in the class, one of the things that I've learned through this job and some research is that until you've engaged in daily driving for 3 years, you pose a much higher risk. If you ever saw the graph, you'd be amazed at how quick the drop-off is. But after 3 years of daily driving, or until you've completed 3 years of daily driving, you pose a much higher risk of either getting into or causing an accident than a more experienced driver. Because of that, when you get behind the wheel of a car, you have to be focused on your driving. You only have one goal, and that's to get to where you're going safely. Never use the car as a toy. It's a valuable tool. Your driving privilege is exactly that, a privilege. You don't ever want to put it at risk by horsing around in your car or getting in a hurry in your car. That's the biggest mistake young people make. They're involved in all kinds of activities in school and work and other things, and they're always rushing from place to place. And they think they can make up for lost time in their car. They can't, okay? Never try to make up for lost time in your car. If you're running late for something when you get into the car, accept the fact that you're going to arrive at your destination late. It's more important to you and your mom and to me that you get to where you're going safely, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, hopefully they'll teach you good practical lessons in the class that you can apply your driving and you won't see judges anymore. Okay?
That's good.
Do you have any questions about what's expected of you?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, go ahead and leave the meeting. Just keep an eye out for that email from the clerks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. One of the ones that you gave me had sent an email and I granted their request to reset the pretrial. They sent in proof that they had enrolled in the class and it's not till next week. Yeah, I figured you wouldn't have any problem with that. Okay, as far as I know, that's everybody we have on Zoom. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you, either one of you need any clarification about anything that we've done today?
I don't know if Alma got it, but did you assign a fine to Mr. Sadberry?
I haven't processed that case. I was gonna call you so we can go
Okay,
over
cool.
it.
Yeah, no, that's fine then. If you've got the fine amount, then we're good.
Yeah, I have the file right here, so give me a second to dig into the stack. We've got quite a few. Today was
Should be $100 for court cost.
100.
Yeah.
Sounds right to me.
And then you approved for him to pay $25 a month.
That's correct.
Yeah.
$100 fine plus the charges and court costs, 24 hours of use of public service, 30 days in jail suspended on the condition that he have no contact with Miss Polito, and he can pay the $100 fine at $25 a month.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else?